Hi, I'm Madame Pamita, and I love teaching about magic. If you have a question about spells, the law of attraction, spirituality, witchcraft, Slavic folk magic, spirits, divination, you can join me on Sundays at the Live Magic Q&A where we record an episode of my podcast, Magic and the Law of Attraction, and then I answer your questions on anything mystical or magical live over Zoom. Just go to spellsquad.com to get the link to join me in the clubhouse. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you get a gentle, magical reminder and you'll be the first witch to see whenever anything new goes up. Here's a great tidbit from one of our past Q&As answering a really important spiritual question. Carrie says, I think I know how to dispose of most of my spell remains, but I'm wondering if there's a time limit on when to dispose of them. I have the remains of several spells from over the course of many months. No problem. So disposal of candle spell remains is mostly what I think we're talking about, although other spells might have remains as well. So we're going to just talk about candle spell remains because that's the easiest one. And I've got lots of things to share about that. And we could have a whole hour talking about all the other kinds of remains too. So when you're doing a candle spell, there's two sort of ideas. You're either bringing in something or you're getting rid of something. You're bringing in protection, you're bringing in healing, you're bringing in love, you're bringing in prosperity, or you're banishing negativity, you're banishing curses, you're getting rid of a person out of your life, you're doing something to get rid of. So there's two directions that it can go. If the direction is to get rid of something, then you want to dispose of your candle remains away from your home, because that is like the last step, is that you're taking this candle and then you're taking it away. So that really is about banishing energy, cutting energy, banishing energy, so on. So in that case, you can take your spell remains, and I recommend taking them to a trash can far away from your home. If you want to take it to, I think one of this brilliant ideas that Ruth from Hyssop and Hawthorne says, she takes her spell remains of things that she's getting rid of and drops them in a trash can at a gas station near an intersection. That's close to a crossroads. It's close to an intersection, and she's getting rid of them there. And it's a place that you can get rid of your trash without dumping, right? Because you're expected to empty out your car trash, right? That's what those trash cans are there for. If you are doing something to bring something to you, you have more options, okay? You would not keep a banishing spell remains. Never would you keep it. You're getting rid of something, so you got to get rid of the remains as well. But if you're doing a spell to bring something to you, you have a couple of options. Number one is you can keep the candle spell remains. When you buy a spell kit from Parlor of Wonders, we give you a cotton cloth bag. Everything's in a cotton cloth bag. That cotton cloth bag can be the place that you put your candle spell remains. That can be the place that you do that. So then you can keep those candle spell remains until you get your result from your spell. Let's say, for example, you did a spell to get the job, and then you hung on to your remains, and then you got the job. Now you can dispose of those candle remains because you achieved the goal, getting the job. When you dispose of your remains in your home, you can do it in your home. You can, for something that you're bringing to you, you say, this candle spell is complete, and then you can throw it in the trash. For me, that takes the energy of the magic out of the materials that you used for the spell and disconnects them, so that you're not throwing away your job, you're not throwing away your prosperity, you're not throwing away your good luck or whatever it is. You're saying the spell is complete, and now I'm just throwing away wax, right? That's a way of saying that. So you can dispose of a spell immediately by saying that. You can keep it until you get the result. You can also do a fun thing that I show a YouTube video about, which is if you look up on what to do with candle spell remains, I think that's the one. I show you a way that you can soften that beeswax. If you're working with one of our candles, you've got beeswax, and beeswax gets soft when it's raised to the temperature that your hands are. So you can hold it in your hands and soften it and play with it and start to get it soft. And then you can mold it into a little talisman. You can mold a little heart, a little triangle, a little cube, whatever you want to mold it into, you can mold it into, and you can save that piece of your spell. Once the wax cools down, that it's not in your hand, it'll be quite hard. And then you can put it on your altar. You can carry it in a mojo bag. I mean, you can do anything with it. Then you would take the rest of your spell remains, because you're not going to take all of them and do that. The rest of the candle wax and herbs and everything else, and you can put them in the trash saying the spell is complete. Okay, that's another way you can work with it. When you are disposing of it, one way is to throw it in the trash. Another way is if you want to keep that energy going, but you don't want to have a bunch of bags of candle wax around your home, you can bury your candle wax remains in your yard. So you could bury that in your backyard if it's something you want to keep, in your front yard if it's something you want to bring toward you. If you live in an apartment and you don't have a yard, you can get a big potted plant and you can bury it in the potted plant. So that's the ways that you can dispose of a spell. I used to say, I mean, you'll see lots of videos of me saying, leave it in the crossroads. And I think that leaving a little piece of your spell in the crossroads will do the work of leaving your spell at the crossroads. Leaving a whole bunch of your stuff in the middle of a crossroads, if you're not out in a rural area, it's just leaving trash and it's going to be touched or picked up by someone else. And so I think that's not my favorite idea anymore, to do that. It's also littering. It's also kind of even on that level. Even if you're putting all natural stuff out there, it's still looking like litter and looking like a mess. So if you're not in a rural area, then maybe that's not the best idea. If you live in a rural area and you have dirt crossroads and places, you can dig up and bury your stuff at the crossroads. That's another way you can dispose of it. So those are the ways that I recommend. But being nice to Mother Earth is a good thing. You know, she will bless you if you do that.